and welcome to my video series, Char got grad school. It is the chronicle of my time during grad school, and I want my experience to be a guide for you. I didn't have a guide coming into graduate school and didn't know much about how to get started, how to navigate once I got here, how to prep for the GRE, things of that nature. So I want this to be a space where it is informal and you can come to me with questions. I'm no expert, but I can give my best advice because I'm currently living this process. And so I want this to be a resource for you and a guide as you move forward to figure out why grad school and how to get through it. A little bit about me. My name is Charnice Turner. I am a first semester graduate student at the University of Missouri. I completed my undergrad here in journalism, and so I'm continuing on to our 4+1 program, which allows me to get my master's in December of 2019. And so this accelerated program, I'm emphasizing in broadcast management. And so coming here for undergrad, it was a decent transition because I'm coming from Chicago and coming to Missouri, so it was slow in that regard, and I adjusted okay for undergrad. But graduate school is a different world, and I'll explain a little bit about that later. But for today, my agenda is to talk about why graduate school, how I decided, tips as far as picking your top 5, and then what to expect from this series moving forward. Because again, I want to be a resource to you, because everybody talks about the importance of higher education and continuing on, but you have to figure out what that means for you. And so I want to use my experience as a model for if you should do it or if you shouldn't do it. So for me, I figured out how I wanted to go to grad school because I asked myself, do I want to go? Do I need to go? Or am I going because out of fear or out of safety? And I think for me, I was very fearful at first and that was my reasoning. I didn't know if I was going to get a job out of school. I didn't know if it was going to fit my personality, if it was going to fit my career interests. I was scared, but I also was motivated to go because it was a want. I want to do it for my family, do it for myself. When I get this degree, I'll be the first person in my family with a master's degree. And it's a lot of pressure, and I feel it heavy on me, but I feel like I will be setting an example for my little sister and my little cousins who look to me. And being able to do this will be tremendous for my family moving forward. And also because I want to be a part of that shift that changes the way Black people, brown people, Asians, Native Americans, anybody, any type of minority group is seen on television, people of color in general. I want to be a change agent, and I thought the best way would be to do it in an academia standpoint. So my dream, my dream. So I've been writing it out, I've been praying it out, and so I'm saying it to you guys on this space because when God gives it to me, you're going to know it is because I worked for it. And so my dream is to become a producer, and I want to have my own production company. And so I want to be able to tell those stories because it is a shame that in this 21st century, minorities and people of color aren't seen as human. We only get fragments on TV, and we're only seen as pieces of a whole. And I want to be able to shift the way that those stories are told, and to tell them in a true sense and tell them holistically. And I think that the route of education will allow me to do that and be able to produce that product for the public. I say that I didn't need to go to grad school to do this, but I thought that education and doing it the systematic route would be even more beneficial, let's say 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. I wanted longevity, and not to say that my friends and my peers who left out of school and went straight to doing their careers aren't going to be successful in this industry, or they aren't going to have longevity, but I'm doing this so that I know that down the line my cousins, my kids, my grandchildren can see themselves more positively and more accurately on the television screens. And so it is very important for me to do this from the bottom up, and that meant going back to school. So when you ask yourself why graduate school, you need to consider all of those things like cost, fit, affordability, and just a holistic view of where you're trying to go, because all of those things go into effect. I know for me, a big factor was finding an assistantship. It came down to affordability. Could I be able to live and learn in the environment that I'll be studying at? And so it was, assistantship was the opportunity, and so I took it. And so what that looks like is I TA a course, but I also get a tuition waiver that covers the cost of my tuition. So I still have to pay like technology fees, course fees, things of that nature, but the weight of tuition has been lifted, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. And so that was a major factor in determining for me. So it is important for you to consider that moving forward, which I'll explain in a later video how to go through that for your own process. Another thing that people didn't tell me about graduate school was the rigor and the just how hard and different it is from undergrad. I have so much free time now. My classes don't start until 3 o'clock every day. Like, nobody told me what to do or how to manage that time from in the morning till 3 o'clock when I have to go to class, or the assignments or the readings. Like, I read 3 plus articles every week. That's 30 pages per class. And so nobody told me it would be this much. I'm in week 4, and I feel like this week has been the best week I've had thus far, because I'm able to clearly see the path I want to take and what I want to research, why I'm here, my purpose, and what I want to accomplish going forward. But when I started out, those weeks 1 through 3, reading the assignments, I didn't know. Like, it was tough. It is really tough, because I was reading those materials just to read it because I knew I had to read it, but I didn't understand anything that was being said. And I have to read about it, I have to write about it, and I have to talk about it in class. And to go into a classroom where there's different levels of education, as far as PhD students, second year master's students, and first year students like me, it was hard because everybody's talking about the material so eloquently in my eyes, and I'm feeling less than, because again, I didn't know. But I had to step back and I had to pray about it, and I'm like, this is my journey, and they had their own journey, to separate those two and to know that I can learn from them. So people thought I was crazy because in one of my classes, on my notes, I would write everything that was being said on my paper. And so that was to help me dissect and digest everything that was being read for the class. And so that helped me better understand the course material and ultimately get the topic. And so now at week 4, I'm more engaged, I'm more excited about the material because I'm dissecting it better than I was before because of the help of other peers. And so, like I said, week 4 has been great. Like, I'm able to see the road because I'm a type A person, and I want to be able to be focused and see everything clearly. And this has been a good week in regard to why I'm here and how grad school is possible. So for you, first I would say begin researching your top 5. For me, it was top 3. I'm in the journalism world, so I chose American University, Northwestern, and here, the J School at the University of Missouri, because we are number 1. And so what made me decide to stay home is because of the support I got in undergrad. And I knew that I could have the same support going into graduate school. But again, you have to consider all those options when picking the best school for you. But start researching your top 5, getting the application deadlines, see if there's any fee waivers you can have. I have a list of fee waivers, and I'm going to put that somewhere so you can have access to it. But it's basically a list of all the schools that offer fee waivers. And so I want to be able to be a resource, as I said, so this will help you as well. But start looking at those dates, like when do you apply, when does it due, like essays, things of that nature, so you can start prepping yourself if grad school is a yes for you. And really start to figure out, do you want to go, do you need to go for your career, or is it just a fear thing and you need to tackle it in another avenue? But if grad school is for you, start picking your top 5, narrow it down, and really just hone in on what that means. So in the next episode, I will talk about prepping for grad school. So GRE tips. I'm no expert. I passed by the grace of God, so I can give you a prayer, but I will give you the tips I had to do well and get to where I am, which is in school. So I can do my best, and I hope that this helps you moving forward, and I'll catch you next video.